I'm going to rank every single animated movie I've ever seen, and if you watch until the end of this video, I'm going to give you the opportunity to win any movie poster you want by liking, commenting, and subscribing to this channel. So lock in. This is going to be insane, and you might get some free stuff. Alright, so basically, this is a tier list of every single animated movie I've ever seen in my life. There's a lot here. There's almost 200 movies. I tried to keep everything in. I also kept some short films that I thought were worth keeping in, just because there's, something to talk about with them. But there's a bunch of stuff. There's R-rated films. There's every Pixar movie, every Illumination movie, most of the Sony animation movies. I've seen a lot of animation. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, Cinderella. Cinderella is a classic. It's got to go A. Mulan. Good as a kid. Haven't really loved it on revisit. And then we start off strong. Few movies got to be S. Come on. I grew up on Wallace and Gromit. I love Wallace and Gromit. We got to go S for A Grand Day Out, honestly. Spirited Away. Damn, really. Spirited Away, one of my favorite Hayao Miyazaki movies. Haven't seen a lot of them, but Spirited Away, absolutely an S. What an incredible movie. This is the second Garfield movie. D? Okay, SpongeBob. Let's talk about SpongeBob. SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water, I think, is the newest one that isn't the one that just leaked. So, this movie, I don't remember when I saw it, but I remember being, genuinely entertained. And I don't remember, being amazing, but, I was entertained. So, I'll go C. Original SpongeBob movie. A. Banger. Soul. Soul is one of my favorite Pixar movies. The score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross is insane. If you haven't listened to it, you totally should. And so for that reason, we're going S. This is the only Linklater rotoscope movie I have seen. Is it Scanner Darkly? It's a super weird movie, but you got a really good performance. You got a really good Keanu Reeves in this thing. Just a weird movie. Not the most fun thing in the world to watch, but something I really enjoyed, so we'll go B. Tangled, really liked it when it came out. Haven't thought about it or really cared about it since. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I mean, you know what? It's tough because I like the first one a little bit more, but I love this movie. If I'm being honest with myself, it's going to be A, but that doesn't mean it's not really close. I think the first one is better. Maybe when the new one comes out, maybe when the third one comes out, it'll all kind of come together and they'll all just be S, but for now it's A. Treasure Planet, holy shit. I haven't thought about Treasure Planet in so long. Man, I love Treasure Planet. That's an A. For sure, I would love to rewatch that soon. Fox and the Hound, A. Classic, grew up on it. New Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I really love this movie. I'm going A. I really enjoyed this movie. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm a big fan, and this movie really did it for me. Hercules. Hercules, another movie I grew up on, really loved. And honestly, one of my favorite, I think this is a 90s Disney movie. I really loved Hercules. Damn. Hades is such a cool villain, too. I really love that movie. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Just absolute corporate garbage. There's, literally a scene where they try to sell you every one of their franchises. In a single moment. It's insane. It's a terrible movie. Finding Nemo, one of the best movies on this list, probably. Definitely S. Not even a question. 2009-ish Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I enjoyed this as a kid, but haven't really watched it or thought about it since, so we're gonna go C. Toy Story 3, obviously better than it had any right being as a third movie in the Toy Story franchise. A banger, but I like a lot of them more, and it's still really good, so we're going A. Howl's Moving Castle, A, banger. Garfield movie, terrible, D. Mad God, holy shit, I forgot Mad God's on this list. Okay, if you haven't seen Mad God, you have to see Mad God. This is a movie that was directed by the man who was in charge of the special effects for Jurassic Park and Star Wars. And when I say SFX, I'm not talking about digital. I'm talking about, this is the guy that built the models and helped before Jurassic Park decided to go into a CGI direction with the film, he literally built model dinosaurs for that movie. And he's just a practical effects god. And so this movie is like his weird nightmare that he worked on from like since like the 80s until 2020, I think it came out, or 2021. And it's like a tight 80 minutes of just crazy stop motion psychosis. It's amazing. You got to watch it. It's an S. Anomalisa, one of the most depressing movies I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Charlie Kaufman's a genius. That being said, this is so brutal, so we're gonna go B. Stuart Little, I grew up loving this movie. I can't really say much about it. The PS2 scene is burned in my brain, and Stuart Little is cool as hell. This is one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. Tom and Jerry. Horton Hears a Who. Enjoyed it. Don't really think about it ever. Happy Feet 2. Honestly, sorry, George. I love George Miller so much. Like, I love Babe. Like, I'm a huge Babe guy. But Happy Feet is not for me. I just don't get it at all. At all. I don't get it at all. Sleeping Beauty. Honestly, I don't have any relationship with Sleeping Beauty, but I guess it's foundational for animation, so we'll go A. Hidden Dragon, or How to Train Your Dragon 3. I didn't really care about How to Train Your Dragon 3 at all. I like the other ones a lot, but that movie just did nothing for me. What is this? Oh, you know what? This was the SpongeBob movie that I saw in theaters really stoned. This is actually the one I really like. This movie's underrated. This is the one where I was like, this is fine. I enjoyed it, though. I remember enjoying it. Okay, Tintin. Tintin is super underrated. Tintin is an S. Tintin is not only one of the better later Spielberg movies, it's incredibly cool. It's incredibly cool. It's like everything the new Indiana Jones wasn't. I think this movie is awesome. I think it's just a really thrilling adventure film that happens to be in the medium of animation. And I think Spielberg's direction is awesome. There's sequences that the camera, again, like I love the way the guy directs the camera, and the action of this movie is super well shot. If we ever talk about Ready Player One, I'll go on a rant about how I think that the action in that movie is incredibly well shot for being mostly digital. That's also a good callback to my James Cameron comments in the last tier list, because I think they're incredibly different in that way. Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I saw this in theaters. I didn't really care about it. We'll go C. Actually, no. We'll go D. I don't really care about it. Frozen B. Like it was good, but like it's not my thing, you know? Like, I don't know. It's good. That's my take. Flushed Away. Flushed Away. I'm a big Aardman guy, so it's tough for me to put Aardman low on the list. Flushed Away is a banger, but it's not an original Wallace and Gromit film, and it certainly isn't better than some of the other Aardman films on here. So while I did enjoy it as a kid, we'll go B. Monsters vs. Aliens. This is one that I remember enjoying, but I don't remember having a relationship with. Tarzan. Freaking yes, dude. I grew up on Tarzan. Love Tarzan. Simpsons movie also. Like, the freaking Bush gag with Bart. Never forget that one. Just like a really enjoyable movie. G-Force. Goddamn. What a horrible film. 8 Crazy Nights. I'm Jewish, and I have every reason to love this. And you know what? I don't at all. I think it's actually awful. Wreck-It Ralph, banger. A. Home on the Range, terrible. We'll also go on A Curse of the Were-Rabbit. We're going A. Banger. Saw it on a school field trip for some reason, and it rules. Up, we're going S. You know what? Up, we're going A, and here's why. The first half of Up is S+. It's like the best animation has like ever been. The second half of Up is like it's directed by a different human being, and like it's so into this like Clint Eastwood, like it's just such a weird movie. In that second half, I don't know. So for that reason, it can't be S, but it is very good. Incredibles 2, B, good but not amazing. Onward, I hate Onward. I hated this movie. I don't know why I hated it so much, but I really disliked Onward. OG Ice Age? OG Ice Age, man. You know what? I loved Ice Age as a kid. I think just speaking to the power that this movie created, just a franchise out of literally nothing for Blue Sky, who was like a nothing company at the time. That's really impressive. So we'll go S for them. Wrong Trousers, come on. It's an S. It's obviously an S. It's not even like close. Inside Out, first one, I enjoy it a lot, but I gotta be real. Um, I think it's going. I think it's going A. Yeah, because I tried to rewatch it and it didn't really do a ton for me. Turning Red. Turning Red's gotta go. Uh, it's gotta go in C. It's good, but I probably won't ever rewatch it. Roger Rabbit is an S. It's one of the best movies that has ever utilized animation ever. Everything that has come after it that has tried to do the same thing has been worse, which is crazy, but it's super true. If you can point to a movie that mixes live action and animation better than this movie, I will be shocked. There is one coming up on this list that I think does give it a little bit of a run for the money, but not close to being better. First Kung Fu Panda, A. Banger. Loved it as a kid. Valiant. What the fuck? I forgot this movie existed until I was making this. Pigeons, but like as bikers, I think, or like pigeon military. I don't know. Horrible movie. Stuart Little 2, not as good as the first, but I did grow up loving it. I think C is fair. DuckTales the movie. I vaguely remember this. I know we watched it growing up, but I don't really have a relationship with it. I know people love this, but I gotta go C. Brave. Kind of one of the weaker Disney movies, but with context to what came after, certainly not bad. So I'm going C. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is an A. Toy Story 1 is an S. Holy shit, what a movie. Just like still as good as it was the day it came out. First Lego movie, also S. Just like talk about executing a premise perfectly. Like you go in expecting, like hoping for the Lego movie to be something, and it is perfect. Like there's no way you could tell me you'd want anything else out of a Lego movie. Toy Story 4 is better than it had Amy Wright being, and I really enjoyed it. So we're gonna go A. Zootopia. Also, I know this movie's problematic. I really freaking loved Zootopia when that came out. Like, I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought it was super. Like, I thought more than most movies, it like actually wanted adults to have a good time. And like, I genuinely was really like the noir side of it was really entertaining. Like the detective mystery side of it worked for me. I think there's another movie on this list, like coming up in a bit, that tries to do something kind of similar and doesn't work for me at all. Despicable Me 2, there's a freaking sombrero with salsa and queso in it in this movie, and I remember laughing my ass off in this movie, so we're gonna go A. The Wild, one of the worst movies I ever saw as a child. Just like a Madagascar ripoff, terrible. Kubo and the Two Strings. Freaking love Kubo and the Two Strings, it's S. This tier list is gonna be massive. Kubo's gotta be S. Like, Laika is one of my favorite studios. That movie is incredible. Jungle Book also S. What a legendary film. Grew up loving that movie. Probably out of the earlier, Disney animation films, that's one that I really love. Incredibles S. Obviously S. Forgive me, I have to scroll. Bad Guys. This is the one I was talking about that's kind of similar to Zootopia. I really dislike this movie. I couldn't get through it. I don't understand how people loved it so much. Really not for me. Land Before Time. I grew up loving it, so I guess we'll go B, but not really any rewatchability there. James and the Giant Peach, if you've been to this channel since the beginning, which was 2 weeks ago, James and the Giant Peach is one of my favorite movies. I grew up loving it. There's like images in this movie that are burned in my brain. Like I feel like I can feel the peach and like touch the peach, and like there's just something weird about it with me in my brain from when I watched it as a kid that just like it is something love. Lady and the Tramp, another Disney movie that I think is like definitely, one of my favorites in the classics. Like loved that movie. Ice Age 2, I liked it really a lot as a kid, but have no relationship with it now. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hunchback of Notre Dame, I think another 90s Disney movie. Honestly, if Hercules was in A, then I have to put it here, but damn, I love that movie. I mean, like, really love it. Lion King. So here's the deal. Lion King's an A for me. I really love Lion King. And it's similarly, I feel this way about Lion King that I do Hunchback, Notre Dame, and Hercules. Actually, like I think I'm someone who really appreciates visual style and like visual stimulation. And The Lion King is fantastic storytelling and fantastic characters and just like an incredible like retelling of Hamlet, basically. But um, it's not for me uh like transcendent filmmaking. Um, so it's gonna be A. Madagascar 2. Madagascar 2. I remember really not liking this movie compared to the first one. So we'll go C. Chicken Run, A. Loved that movie growing up. Osmosis Jones, B. Fucking Bill Murray scene. Are you kidding me? Alice in Wonderland, A. We're just gonna power through here for a second. Madagascar, A. Loved that movie. Played the video game a ton. Played the soundtrack a ton. Just a lot of good stuff. Woody Allen's Ants. Don't really have a relationship with this, but didn't hate it. 101 Dalmatians, like one of those ones that's like kind of forgettable for me. Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs 2, one of the most disappointing movies I've ever seen. Just like not what it should have been. Not what it should have been. Mitchell's vs. Machines. There's some scenes in Mitchell's vs. the Machines, aka Connected, that I enjoyed. And I thought it was an exciting extension of the Spider-Verse, kind of freeing up animation styles and letting people have fun with stuff. But it is not a movie I think I would ever watch again. And so we'll go see. Megamind, again, for some reason, this was the movie I had in 3D when 3D TVs were a thing. And for some reason, I watched that movie in 3D on a 3D TV, and it was okay. Batman Beyond. B. We love Batman Beyond here. Wallace and Gromit Close Shave. This is the one that I don't necessarily love, I think, unless this is the Feathers McGraw. You know what? It's going to be A. But I think, actually, you know what? I think it might be the Feathers McGraw one. I think just to be safe, we'll go S because I'm a bit Wallace and Gromit. Like, I went to the Academy Museum, and at the Academy Museum, they had the Wallace and Gromit figures on display. And I was more starstruck seeing that than like basically anything. Any celebrity I've met or run into, those freaking statues were the craziest things I've ever seen in person. Like they just made me feel so weird seeing those in person. Monster House is so good. Monster House is so good. Monster House is S. Monster House is such a unique animated movie. And like there's not a lot of animated horror for kids. And like what a risk and what a cool risk. And I just think it's so good and underrated. Beavis and Butthead Do America. This is the good one. This movie has one of the funniest jokes of all time when all of Congress thinks a boobs joke is funny. Monsters University, C. It's good, but it's nothing special. Bambi, damn, Bambi's gotta go S. Bambi's another one where it's like, that is like a movie that changes you as a child. Let's see how much more we got. Okay, we made a big dent. We're almost done. We're almost done here, guys, so hang in there. And we're going to do the poster giveaway stuff. I'll tell you guys about that if you keep watching. So don't click away. And yeah, Moana. Moana was good, but again, like not one that I have a super huge relationship with right now. Like, I don't know. I don't really care about the sequel. Brother Bear, dude, Brother Bear, like maybe I'm wrong here, but Brother Bear, when I grew up, Brother Bear was really freaking like impactful. Like I remember loving that movie. So we'll go there. We'll go A. Open season, I remember being terrible. Just the complete antithesis of what Brother Bear was. All right, we made it to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. This is a good time to tell you that I'm a big fan of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I think it's one of the funniest movies I've literally ever seen. It is S. It's probably my favorite movie on this list. Like, if I had to pick one of these to rewatch every day of my life, that's a tough one. I think Finding Nemo and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs would be at the top of that list, and James and the Giant Peach. But Cloudy is one of the funniest movies ever. I mean, it's just like Phil Lord and Chris Miller's entire career blew up after this, and like how cool is it that they made something so goofy in animation and then became who they became? You know what I mean? So I just love that movie. Road to El Dorado, another one I grew up loving and watching a ton. A lot of animation, like a lot of stuff in this movie, like stuck with me. Alvin and the Chipmunks, bad. Jason Lee, good. Nightmare Before Christmas, really, really awesome. But one that I have weird feelings about. I don't know why. I guess I'm viewing all this through the lens of me as a kid as well, just to be like, unless I have a relationship as an adult. Like this movie has striking imagery, and I really think it's cool. But it freaked me out as a kid for some reason, and like I think it was just Henry Selick's animation style. For some reason, like James and the Giant Peach felt so warm, even though it's equally creepy in a lot of ways. And this felt really scary. So Henry Selick kind of split for me. Missing Link, one of the weaker Leica movies. We'll go C, just to be fair, with because it's kind of on par with Monsters University. Mask of the Phantasm, big banger. Hell yeah. Pinocchio, I just don't have a relationship with Pinocchio. Like, it's good. Atlantis and the Lost Kingdom, right? Or no, it's Milo's Return. This is the second one. Second one gets a B. Good movie, though. Looney Tunes back in action. Yeah, this is not Roger Rabbit. This is terrible. Rio, I don't remember anything about. Barnyard. Oh my God. Barnyard was awful. This movie, like, for some reason, the previews as a kid, you're like super excited for it. And then you go see this movie and you just, as a child, you're just like, this is awful. Lorax. Probably on par with Horton Hears a Who. You know what? I'll put it above Horton Hears a Who. I remember really enjoying it. I think Illumination in general works for me. Like, I think they make good stuff to an extent when it's original or Dr. Seuss related. A Bug's Life is a banger. A Bug's Life is going A. I've seen it 1,000 times. I loved that movie as a kid. It came out when I was, it was like right after Toy Story, and I was a little too young when Toy Story first came out, but then Bug's Life came out, and that was just like probably one of the first movies I ever saw as a kid. Actually, I feel like right now I might be realizing that is the first movie I've ever seen in my life, was Bug's Life. Rango. Rango's an S. Here's why Rango's an S. Because it's directed by Gore Verbinski, and Gore Verbinski does everything better than most people. That's really it. Rango's amazing. If you haven't seen Rango, regardless of enjoying animation, just watch Rango. It's so cool. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Another corporate, just like fucking schlock fest. Like, for me, this was Disney's version of Space Jam: A New Legacy. Like, I just thought it was bad. Akira's an A for me. I really enjoyed it. Left me a lot to think about. In fact, it's one of those movies that I started like 5 different times because I was so, like, I loved the first, like, opening scene so much, and I just wanted to be locked in, and every time I tried to watch it, I wasn't focused. Finally finished it and really enjoyed it. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, another one that just, like, hits. But it's not the most rewatchable thing. In fact, it's pretty slow, and so because of that, I'll put it in B. But if you haven't seen it, it's such a charming movie, and you'll just have a great time watching it, so highly recommend. Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6 is going to have to go... Big Hero 6 is going to have to go C. I don't have a relationship with that movie. Puss in Boots, C. Aladdin, A. Aladdin is awesome. We love Aladdin. Cars, D. Cars is so fucking boring and just like definitely, like, I don't know. When Cars came out, I was maybe a little bit older. Maybe I was like 12 or something. That movie, I remember thinking to myself as a child, that movie is for kids younger than me. But then you get Ratatouille, which is probably one of the best Pixar movies, and it's got to be S. Like, no question, Ratatouille's S. In fact, I remember sitting in the theater. I remember where I sat in the theater for this movie. Robin Hood. Come on. Robin Hood's got to go up here. It's got to be S. Oh, you know what? Nah. It's tough. It's one of the better ones. Maybe I'll go A. By the way, guys, if you're still watching, you are, like, truly awesome. You should hit the like button. But also in general, you should just, comment or, like, engage with the posts I make. I would love to hear from you guys and like, know that, like, if you're still watching these videos, that means you're truly a fan of what we're doing here. And so because of that, like, I trust you to steer the direction of the content I'm making. So if you want to see something, please tell me because I really want to make content that you guys want to see. Chicken Little. Chicken Little, C. Bolt. Bolt, C. Bolt, I remember really wanting to love, and it just was not good. Is this the first Shrek? I mean, first Shrek. First Shrek's gotta be S. First Shrek has gotta be S. What a tight movie. It's a tight 60 there. My first Monsters Inc. The fact that I had to say first Monsters Inc. is crazy. It's gotta be S. This is the childhood movie that probably I was most in love with. I mean, I know I already said that, but this is another one that man, there's just so many things burned in my brain from that movie. Ponyo I liked, but I don't have any relationship with, and I did see in a theater and enjoyed it. Balto, one of those movies I freaking loved as a kid. VHS the hell out of that movie. It's gotta be A for me. Batman Beyond. This one was the one that I watched the most. I had the DVD, and it was a paper DVD with the plastic clicky thing, if you know what I'm talking about. It was like a plastic thing you flip open, and it was paper. I also had Kangaroo Jack on a paper DVD case. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. Buzz Lightyear, Star Command. All right, hear me out. Buzz Lightyear, Star Command's S. This is what they should have made movies of. This is the fact that Lightyear was not this is insane to me. The fact that this ever died is insane to me. This is one of the coolest things Disney ever did. Everyone that I remember, that remembers this existed, that talks about this, loves this, series. I put it in here even though it's just a TV series because it is every bit as impactful as these movies have ever been on me. I cannot believe they did not make anything continuously related to this series. Insane that Lightyear was bad, and that exists. And speaking of, I didn't even see Lightyear, so it's kind of unfair for me to say that. Prince of Egypt, I have no relationship with. D. Emperor's New Groove, holy shit. Emperor's New Groove rules. Hilarious movie as a kid. S. Loved Emperor's New Groove. Everyone loved Emperor's New Groove. If you watched that movie in school, you were having the best day of your life. Paranorman is one of the Leica movies I don't love. It's good. It's obviously the animation's amazing, but it's not for me. Sub-Zero. Kind of a forgettable Batman movie, if we're being honest, but still enjoyable for me as a kid. Over the Garden Wall. Another movie that you're going to hear me if you haven't seen. It's a miniseries, but if you haven't seen Over the Garden Wall, I really think you should watch this without knowing anything. Just go in blind and binge the whole thing. You're going to have a great time, and the finale is really something that you're going to be like, oh my God, this was an incredibly well written and well planned and well executed, animated, piece of art. But on rewatch, it does not hold up nearly as well. And so for that reason, I went A. Pocahontas. Grew up loving it, but we're going to go B. Peter Pan. It's like another one, I remember enjoying it as a kid, but I don't really have a relationship with it now. Extremely Goofy movie. This is the second one, right? Extremely Goofy movie is going to be an A. If that's a Leading Tower of Cheesa one, it's going to be an A. Original Despicable Me. I remember the preview for this movie still. The inflated pyramid. Do you guys remember that preview? The first Despicable Me has got to be an A, right? It's a great movie. Shaun the Sheep movie, bad. And it sucks because it's Aardman, but it's just not good. Cars 2, awful, terrible movie. Over the Hedge, just kidding. Over the Hedge is a fucking banger. And it's going all the way up here. Because every character in Over the Hedge is awesome. And the video game is awesome. So Over the Hedge, banger. While I love the first Beavis and Butthead, the second in Beavis and Butthead, not good. Or maybe this is the third, I don't really know, but it wasn't for me. Shark 2, it's gotta be S. It's gotta be S. This is just such a huge tier list, guys. There's so many things on here. Yeah, Shrek 2's gotta be S. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Fantastic Mr. Fox, as we're going A. What a movie. What a movie. I find myself enjoying Wes Anderson a lot when he's playing with this medium. And I hope he does something like this in the future because it is very creative and clever and funny and well made. Sausage Party, while I appreciated the effort and was excited to see this, was not nearly as good as it could have been. Coco, one of the better new Pixar movies. Coco's really fantastic. I loved it. I haven't rewatched it, but I really loved it, so I'll go A. Coraline, another Leica film, but this is one of the best Leica films. This is a Leica film that people love. I don't love it nearly as much as Kubo, but I do love it, and so for that reason, it will be A. Penguins of Madagascar, horrible, D. Fantasia, enjoyed it, don't have any relationship with it. Honestly, I don't think a lot of people do, unless they're older. This is one of those Disney movies, while I love music and I love score, this is one of those movies that for whatever reason, I just never really watched as a kid. Secret Life of Pets is awful. I hate that movie. Snow White the Seven Dwarfs, again, like another very historic Disney movie that I don't personally have any relationship with. Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast has got to be A. Beauty and the Beast is incredible. Just a really outstanding film. Shark Tale. All right, I saw some lists where Shark Tale was like one of the worst animated movies of all time. I understand it's not the best thing to look at in the world. But what are we doing, guys? Did you guys? Am I the only one who had a good time watching Shark Tank or Shark Tale? Because I really enjoyed it as a kid, and if I was being honest, I'd probably put it in A. And I don't remember why. I remember Will Smith and I remember Jack Black. Right? That's Jack Black's a shark. Will Smith is the weird fish guy that just looks like Will Smith as a fish. Doesn't even look like a fish. It looks like Will Smith's face. All right. Chippendale Rescue Rangers. This is the movie that I wanted to talk about with Roger Rabbit in mind, because this is the one that's probably done at the, unless I'm forgetting something, probably done at the best sense. I actually thought this movie was really funny. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go A. I really, really liked this movie. I thought like the Sonic thing was really funny. It's just like a lot of funny things in this movie. Robots. Robots. Grew up on it. Really enjoyed it. Weird movie though. Now, like, I don't know what the hell is going on with that movie. Despicable Me 3, while I love the first two, this movie is bad. And so I hope the fourth one is good, because I hated this movie. Finding Dory, it could have been a lot worse, but it's not that good. So we'll go B. Puss in Boots, is this the new one? Yeah, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I know people really loved it. I really did not enjoy it, for whatever reason. Brother Bear 2, I don't know if that was good. I don't really remember it. Dumbo is one that I did have a relationship with and really enjoyed. And so Dumbo will go S. There's sequences in Dumbo that I'll never stop thinking about, as well as the rest of those movies out there. Sing was fun. Happy Feet was terrible. I hate Happy Feet. Again, I love George Miller, but I just hate these movies. OG Space Jam. Then again, that's the one. That's the one in conversation with Mr. Roger Rabbit up there, because Space Jam is probably the movie that does it the closest to Roger Rabbit. Chippendale and Space Jam. Those are the two. Space Jam probably a little bit better than Chippendale, but Chippendale probably better in other ways. Space Jam's, let's be honest, Space Jam's a bad movie. But it's really fun to watch, and if it hit you at the right time, it's great. I don't agree with the people that say like Space Jam: A New Legacy is every bit as like they're the same. Like oh, you only think this is good because of the nostalgia. Like it's actually just as bad. I don't agree with that at all. Like I don't agree with that one bit. This is way better. This is corporate nonsense. This is absolutely a movie that does not have any reason to exist. Dinosaur. I grew up freaking loving Dinosaur, and so much so that like 2 months ago I decided to rewatch it, and it is awful. It is terrible. It is one of the worst movies I've ever tried to watch. They basically went to the like back bushes of a neighborhood in Florida and filmed bushes and then put CGI dinosaurs in front of it. Like it's like land Disney owned that they were about to build on. They just filmed, and then they just threw the dinosaurs into the movie. Like the movie is insanely like weirdly put together. It feels so bizarre. And I think it's also shot digitally, which for like one of the first movies to do that. Maybe I'm wrong there, but whatever they did, it's awful. Raya and the Last Dragon was one of those movies that could have been awesome and was held up by just an annoying character. Like the dragon character is super annoying. Okay, Into the Spider-Verse, S. Into the Spider-Verse, one of the best animated movies I've ever seen in my life. Um, there's not, I mean, everything that could be said about it has already been said. Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid's one that I did watch quite a bit as a kid. We'll go B, and no, we'll go A. We'll go A. Out of all like the musical Disney movies, that's one that I really loved. First Atlantis. First Atlantis is got to be an S. This movie looks freaking awesome. If you haven't watched it since you were a kid, honestly, it's still really cool. Like the surround sound, the music, it like it's a movie. You know, like this is a really cool like big movie. Um, a Goofy movie. A Goofy movie's going A. We watched it a bunch as a kid. It's really entertaining. I really enjoyed it. Surfs Up. Surfs Up. If I mean you don't know anything about me, but if you knew anything about me, you'd know that Surfs Up is an S. He Who Shall Not Be Named is very good as the titular penguin. And I really enjoyed this movie as a child. Dougal. I remember my brother thought this movie was going to be good, and I told him it would be terrible, and it ended up being one of the worst movies of all time. But if you look at the cast, you'll be like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing, because the cast is crazy for this movie. One of the craziest casts maybe of all time, and it's for some reason for this movie called Dougal that is terrible. Second How to Train Your Dragon, very good. We're going A. Really enjoyable film. Shrek the Third, bad. C. Really big bummer. I remember when this came out, everyone was really bummed because it's not that bad, but it's just not nearly, it's not even close, you know, to being what Shrek 1 and 2 is. Corpse Bride, you know, I love Tim Burton. I really love Tim Burton, but I don't have too much of a relationship with this. This kind of got to go C for me, but I do know people love it, and I do appreciate it, and I think it looks absolutely stunning, but it's not, maybe I'm not being fair. I think it's more fair if I put it in B because I do remember really enjoying it. I just don't watch it. I haven't thought about watching it. Great Mouse Detective. I don't really remember it, but I remember loving the poster. So we'll go C. I think Toy Story 2 is the best Toy Story movie. And for that reason, it's got to go S. I love that movie. A lot of weird, the kind of like really dark, like people talk about Toy Story 3 being dark. Man, Toy Story 3 is dark when they're taking them apart and stuff. Hoodwinked. Who remembers Hoodwinked? Hoodwinked is low-key extremely funny movie. I just rewatched a couple scenes from it, and damn, it's a really clever, funny movie. It looks horrible. In fact, in terms of animation, it might be the worst-looking movie on this list, besides like Dougal or like Dinosaur. But it's atrocious looking, but it's actually pretty funny and got a good script. Iron Giant. It's got to be S. Iron Giant's gonna go S. It's got to be at the top of the list. It's incredible. Hogarth is awesome, and it's just amazing. Like it'll make you cry every time, and I mean, come on. Brave Little Toaster. I hate to keep ending this list on like a bunch of S's, but like Brave Little Toaster. I mean, come on, Blanky. Are you freaking joking, dude? Talk about iconic characters. You got Blanky, you got the toaster, you got the vacuum guy. I loved that movie. Whenever we had a substitute teacher in band class, for some reason, that would be the movie that they would watch. How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon is going to go in A. It's very good. And with that, we completed the tier list 40 minutes later. This is a 40-minute video. Oh my god. You could have watched half of Nosferatu on this channel in this time, but instead you watched this. And I made this. And I appreciate you guys taking the time and watching this because it was fun to rethink all these movies and kind of figure out where my brain put them. So it's interesting. Like, what did I think was the best anime movies I've ever seen in my life? Yeah, like, I kind of stand by this. I really tried to do it with like my first reaction to everything. Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. All right, guys. So if you made it this far in the video, that means you are going to try to win a movie poster. So what are you going to do to try to win the movie poster? You have to like this video. You have to comment on this video, telling me why you want the movie poster and what poster you want. And then you also have to be subscribed to the channel and subscribed to the Instagram. So there's quite a few things. I'll go over it again. You got to subscribe to the Instagram or follow the Instagram. You got to subscribe to the channel. You got to like the channel. You got to comment why you want a poster and what your favorite movie is / what movie poster you want. Those are the 4 things you got to do. In 1 month, I will pick a winner, and that winner will get a free movie poster shipped to their door, and it'll be a full-sized, fantastic movie poster. So do that for me. You know what? I really appreciate you guys. Give me continue with News Blast every single day. That's something I'm dedicated to doing for you guys to keep growing, to keep building audience. These tier lists are fun, so we can keep doing that. And if you want to see movie reviews, could potentially think about doing that. Although that to me might kind of be a little bit more just adding more noise to YouTube. I want to do something more interesting. Even these tier lists, let's be honest, they're nothing pushing the boundary. But again, I'm trying to grow, so we're doing something like this. But regardless, guys, thank you for taking the time. At this point, I'm rambling. Appreciate you. Film stock.